bow our head and pray, please. Father, we come to you again and we say thank you for this wonderful opportunity we have to come and call upon you, God, to assist us tonight, God, in the deliberations, God, and decisions we make. We ask you, Lord, to be with us. Always, God, strengthen you. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you for this wonderful city. Be with us tonight, God. Give us wisdom, guide, and direction. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Mr. Chapel.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Will you call the roll, please?
Ms. Barrow. Here. Mr. Chapel. Here. Ms. Galbraith. Ms. Gibson. Here. Mayor Kelly.
Here. There is two changes tonight, council. Items 1 and items, no, I'm sorry, is it 2? Item 2 and item 4. As I was told, the even numbers tonight won't be, they're going to be moved to a different time. Approval of the minutes after items from the audience. Anybody here, you've seen the agenda, it was outside. Item 2 and item 4 will not be heard tonight, but if you have anything you'd like to talk about, please come to the podium, state your name and your address, and we'll hear that before we get started. Nobody tonight? Oh, that's very good. Thank you. Approval of the minutes from the 8th and November the 15th, 12th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. Call roll, please.
Ms. Barrow.
Yes.
Mr. Chapel.
Yes.
Ms. Galbraith. Yes. Ms. Gibson. Yes. Mayor Kelly.
Here, yes. Item 1 for the regular agenda items is the 4906 East Business Highway 98 Mobile Home Park. Cottrell, are they here tonight? Hey, how you doing? Stand by one in case we got questions for you. Mr. Sloan, will you bring us up to speed from the meeting we...
Yes, sir. At the prior meeting in November, you all asked me to look into this issue a little further. I did contact Ms. Bradford, and she stated to me that, in fact, this was considered a mobile home park for years by the city, and that she did not know why the city would not have an occupational license receipt for that, but she felt confident that every year that the occupational license was paid, and that if the city didn't have one under a mobile home park, if they didn't categorize it under that, she thought that might have been a city mistake, and not that the mobile home park didn't exist. So based upon the research that I did and the confirmation from Ms. Bradford, it appears that a mobile home park did exist on that property for years. And so given that and the dilemma that the council was posed with, I would recommend that the council proceed to go ahead and give the permit as requested, and because it's not establishing a mobile home park, it's already been there.
Okay, sir.
Do we need
Thank
a
you.
motion to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
I make the motion that we go ahead and allow the permit.
I'll second it. Call roll, please.
Ms. Barrow.
Yes.
Mr. Chapel.
Yes.
Ms. Galbraith.
No.
Ms. Gibson.
No.
Mayor Kelly.
Yes. Okay, and the second and last item for tonight is the SRF loan. If you could update us on that, Mr. Sloan, and then we can...
Yes, sir. To some extent, I'm not sure why the state continues to communicate with our engineers, but nonetheless, the engineers received a packet from the state for the loan and / grant, and I went through those documents. If you recall, council, you all adopted resolution number 2022-386, and in that resolution you outlined that you were setting up for the loan, that you approved the loan, you approved the signatures on the loan. These are actually the loan documents. I had a couple of questions on the loan documents, so I would like to see if I could get those resolved before they're finally signed. I'll have to do an opinion letter, Mayor,
Yes,
to
sir.
go with these documents. But in particular, the one thing that stood out to me was, it was my understanding the loan term was going to be a longer period than 6 months.
Okay,
And
sir.
that's what this loan agreement says, 6 months. So
Okay, sir.
with your permission,
Yes, sir.
you already approved doing the loan, so with your permission, I'll just communicate with SRF
We'll
folks
find out why.
and see if I can't get that resolved.
Report back to us
If-
in a year.
Well, I'll report back to you because they are saying they need these documents back.
Ah,
And so you've already been authorized to sign them,
Okay.
but at this point in time, I'll get that one issue straightened out, report back to you, and then you would be in a position to sign the documents that have been presented or the corrective documents.
all right, thank you, sir, I appreciate you. That brings us to the task list, and, the only one I can really give you any information on is the user fees that we looked at for Earl Gilbert Park. We've done some research, and we're of the opinion, initial phase is not to do a parking machine, because the amount of money and the amount of enforcement wouldn't be comparable unless we were to support it with a more substantial parking fine. People park illegally in Parker because there's no consequence. When a man tells you my truck was 100,000 and my boat was 150,000, I would rather just pay the $30 parking fine and I'll park wherever I please. It would be better to raise the parking fine to $250 and tow away. And then you won't have that issue moving forward like other cities do. And moving forward, I've instructed Chief Hutto to get the documentation necessary to bring to the city council. Mr. Somlin's in complete agreement with this. And sometime in the new year, we'll have a package together for the council to review and change that parking fee, illegal parking fee. It has not been touched since 1966.
Yeah, I think that may require an ordinance amendment.
Yes, it would
I'll-
require an ordinance.
Yes.
I would also, while we're looking at different fees, I think we should look at all of them. I think there's fees that are.
We talked about this, if you remember, and I agree with that completely.
Can we just add that to the task list so that it gets done?
Yeah.
Please.
Just all the fees, and we'll sit down and figure it all out.
But I spoke with Mr. Sloan about the licensing fees, and you said we could not address
You,
those.
you can't do what the beach did. There was a limited window for many years ago for them to jack it the way they did. But we can look at perhaps a nominal increase, but not a significant increase.
But our licensing fees are almost nothing. I mean, they're
Right.
literally.
I think we're talking about two different things.
Okay.
The occupational, or the business tax, as it's called, that's just a nominal amount. The licensing or permitting fees, that's really where I think the city needs to look
Yes.
at the increases, because the city is having to pay the engineers, for instance, to review plans, and the cost of doing that exceeds the cost of the initial deposit. So you need to consider upping that deposit so that you're not going in the red waiting for repayment at the end.
When we're looking at these fees, council, also, I would like to look at the possibility of individuals who don't pay their water bill and skip, that we, rather than write off the skip, I would prefer to send it for collection. And even if all we got back was half of $300 water bill, and the collector clipped half, then I think that would be better for the citizens of Parker to get half of their investment back, rather than none of their investment
So,
back.
Jamie, one of the things that we had talked about, you were saying, is that by the time they get their water cut off, the deposit fee is $250?
200 is a deposit fee.
200.
It's $225 to hook up new water, but 25 is a connection fee, so it's a $200 deposit.
Okay, so, and when they do end up if they do skip out, their bills are $300-400.
Sometimes
So
more.
it does
Sometimes more.
or more.
Yep.
And I know you guys have cut back on the extensions upon extensions.
No
so,
more.
Is there an option?
We need to raise the deposit.
Is that something that we can look at doing as well?
Certainly.
Mr.
Some-
Sloan, can we task you though with coming back, because you've made comments that can't do major increases, but can you come back and tell us what we can do so that we know
Well,
exactly?
the only thing you are limited on is the business tax. That's in
Are you talking about the license fee for a business license?
the business license. It's called the business tax, but yes,
So,
ma'am.
Like, I pay $4 a year for a business license
That's
to
our
rent a home.
business license? For
$4,
rental.
that doesn't even pay for the,
The time
A
it takes for the clerk to do the,
Does
I
it
mean,
pay for a
literally,
sale?
doesn't pay,
Uh,
that's all I pay
I'll
for.
come back and
more than one
report the
rentals.
amount that
Okay.
can be increased. Yes, ma'am.
Thank
I
you.
would say since 1967 inflation, we might be able to bump it to more than $4
at least 40.
or 50. I mean,
Okay, second item is the 5 and 10 year plan. I guess that's done, right? We finished that. We just have to finalize it. Is that where we're at? Ladies?
Well-
gentlemen?
Didn't take it off because I didn't think we.
I don't know that it's exactly what I was looking for. I think it was the necessity items, but I think I would also like to see in that 5-year to 10-year plan the things that we would like to do, you know.
Well, that's not a
like,
plan.
let's-
That's a wish list.
Still a plan,
but it's still a plan.
still a plan.
Okay?
But we've done
Um,
that.
But if we're talking still, if we're still going to be talking about having an ad valorem and we can have some money in the house, then we might be able to turn money into grants that could maybe do some things down the road, like finish the park. I mean, finishing the park wasn't even on that 5-year plan. So,
Okay.
it's not what I was looking for.
All right. Lake Drive resurfacing. Mr. Summerlin's not able to be here tonight, so I can't really give you any guidance on that. Stormwater assessment, master plan. Not the stormwater assessment, the stormwater master plan. He's not here,
That
so.
was Ms. Galbraith. Did you ever hear from Anchor on that?
She did reply and she has not done what we have asked her to do. So it is still in her court.
So we don't have a response from her to speak of.
Yes, we have a response, but her response was she hasn't completed it.
Did she have a deadline of when she would have it completed?
No, but would you guys like me to ask for
I'll
her?
take care of it now. You already tried. I got it.
I did not ask her for a deadline. I asked her where she stood on it.
Take care of it in the morning. The procedure manual, Mr. Who's got that now?
We were gonna do it in-house after the employee handbook.
Okay, all right. And the employee handbook, you guys will have it in January.
We have it. We need a workshop.
We need a
date set.
workshop to put it to bed, yep. Okay, sounds good. Well, that's all that's on the current task list. So, Mr. Chappell, do you have anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things.
Okay, sir.
First of all, I'd like to thank Ms. Tanya for getting the tree lighting ceremony going. I thought we had quite a few people from Citizens of Parker. We did have a problem with the Panama City parade being the same time, so I think that took away some of our people, but we still had a good crowd. We went through a lot of hot dogs, a lot of hot chocolate, and I think everybody had a good time. So I want to thank Ms. Tanya for doing that.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
The other thing is, you know, the next big event that the city is planning on doing will be on the 8th of April. That'll be our Easter egg hunt. We'll do it out here underneath our park out here. I lined up the Easter bunny. He said he would be here to lay eggs and be all over. So we're trying to get 1,000 eggs out. And of course, we'll fill them with candy and stuff like that. So if anybody wants to, when the eggs start coming into the stores, anybody wants to buy some eggs, it would be appreciated. The plastic eggs.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I guess that's about. I did go down to the pier today. They do have some pilings in the water, 6 or 7 of them. So they are starting on our fishing pier. Hopefully, 6 or 7 months down the road, it'll be finished. So get your fishing gear out. Start doing, have a fishing contest or something down there.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's it.
Ms. Galbraith.
Can we set dates for these workshops?
Yeah. Can we do this after the
Yeah, I think we need to have it first.
Or is there,
As department heads, we were given the deadline about the end of October to have this to you guys, and we've been waiting since then for this to get passed. We wanted this new manual to be put in place sooner
Of the
rather
first
than later.
year.
It's been a month and a half already.
um,
And I'll have a revised version with my comments to you
Okay.
shortly.
Okay, perfect. So, beginning of the year, we can maybe have a workshop?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So, okay,
What date works
I
for you
think we
guys?
should set a date so that we obviously
mhm.
continue to kick the can here. How about on Thursday the 5th?
no,
How about you give us a date?
after the first council meeting in January.
The first
That
council
will be
meeting is
after the first
3rd.
council meeting.
Okay, it's the 3rd,
Yes, sir.
okay.
So the 5th works?
Any day after the 3rd.
We have ortho that day, can't do that,
Okay?
sorry.
What about doing the second week?
How about Wednesday
Does
the
it
4th
have to be
then?
on a Thursday? Can we do Friday?
Do it Saturday if you want.
Wednesday the 4th?
I'm not gonna be here on
Yeah.
Saturday.
We'll be here.
Wednesday the 4th is fine with me.
At what time?
8 o'clock. 7.
I'm
I'm
with
all
you.
about doing them early, so
We
whatever,
don't start
whatever
until
works for y'all.
7:30.
So Saturday, 7:30? We're gonna do it Saturday?
January the
Wednesday
4th.
January the 4th.
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
I won't be
At-
here, but,
Are we
No,
do-
we're gonna do it when you're here.
8, you're not gonna be there?
no,
He's
I'm
on a
taking my
cruise.
anniversary cruise ship,
We need to do it when everybody's here.
59
We need-
years.
Why
When
don't
are you
we
back?
do it the
When are you
second
back,
week?
Ron?
You better do some celebrating.
What about the 9th? That was Monday.
Monday the 9th? When are you coming back, Mr. Chapel?
Oh, I'll be back, Saturday, on the
The-
7th.
The 7th?
Oh, we can do it the 7th.
So we said Monday the 9th, guys?
9 o'clock?
And this is gonna be a special meeting for the workshop, for the handbook, so you can vote?
Yep.
Is everybody good with 9 o'clock? Tanya, are you good with
I'm
9
good.
o'clock?
As far as I know, nothing happens between now and then.
Mr. Summerlin also needs a special meeting for the GCU discussion,
Yep. What's he want that for?
to know about payment.
Oh, he never said nothing to me. I'm his boss.
He would like a
So-
workshop, but we can schedule that after.
No workshop till I talk to him.
Okay.
What was he asking for a workshop for?
Regarding a payment for GCU.
What is GCU?
Gulf Coast Underground?
Oh,
It didn't
GCU?
work.
Pipes.
No.
No,
GCU.
it's another company.
Yeah.
They're a subcontractor. Anything else, Stacy?
No.
Ms. Barrow?
Mr. Chapel, thank you for thanking me, but I would like to say that it took a team effort for all of us. We all worked together good and it all went well. The meetings went well. We had it all planned out and it worked out just fine and thank you for the money and everybody that helped out.
Thank you, ma'am. April?
We made the workshop date. Let's see. So, at the town hall meeting, there were some citizens that were interested in putting the citizen group together to kind of help out with.
Are they here tonight? Is that advisory board here tonight? No,
I haven't received a call.
no.
Okay.
So,
Nobody gave me a name, a phone number, address, email, nothing. I got
We
Gotta
were
nothing.
show some
instructed
interest.
She took everybody else's names and said she would reach out.
Yes.
You gotta show some
Oh,
interest.
okay.
You gotta show some interest.
okay.
I see the people who participate and I see the people who talk.
Well, there's obviously people that are interested in doing it. And
That was at the 5th Tuesday meeting.
I mean, it's only been a week. Let's give her a little time.
I think it's something that'll be moved forward, and I think it's, I brought it up, right after I got elected, and it just sort of didn't go anywhere, and, there's a lot going on, but I think we're in a good place that we can get some people that can head it up and be able to work with the city and the to know who really truly needs the help, and it would be beneficial to the city and beneficial to the community in general in those homeowners.
Ms. Clark,
No, I needed the employee manual and you guys took care of it.
you said something about the last meeting you were gonna talk about.
Oh, December 20th meeting. We have nothing on the agenda for the 20th of December, so does there need to be a vote to not have the meeting? I don't know how, there needs to be a
Can-
vote.
But is there anything that we have to do to be able to keep things on the,
No?
I'm asking Mr. Sloan.
Well, the only thing that I knew that was previously scheduled was potentially the resolution for the non-ad valorem assessments. I think the citizens have talked about going a different direction, so.
So nothing has to be done before
You
the end
you
of
would
the year?
if you wanted to keep that opportunity alive, you would have to enact
Okay.
the resolution.
But we don't have to do that to continue discussion about ad valorem before the end of the year?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I have, ladies and gentlemen, is I would ask you to keep your eyes open for individuals vandalizing the sports complex. It's daily. Daily.
Yes,
Our
it's
brand-
daily.
Our brand new steel gates have all been destroyed and kicked open and the hinges all buckled already. They've destroyed the pirate ship. And I'm wondering if we should continue to pour money into the project if they're gonna continue to destroy it. We have daylight to dark security, you're allowed to play and be in the compound between daylight to dark. Individuals have been coming to Parker to play pickleball for the love of God. I thought it was a non-violent sport, but even that's becoming an issue. They want a $250 a week rented bathroom over there. We're not doing that. Every day I try to save money, not spend it. And so if they'd like to come and use the compound, I have no problem with that. But the pirate ship was completely destroyed with graffiti. And, yes, ma'am.
Maybe game cameras would be an answer?
Yes, ma'am. That's a possibility. And we're gonna, well, we have, the problem with the camera is this. It sees the crime committed, but it doesn't stop it, right?
I understand.
But at least
So-
you can prosecute whoever you're seeing out there.
And how do you
can
catch
figure
them?
it
How
out.
do you
And
identify
somebody
that
to
person?
monitor the
It's gonna
cameras.
have to be by license plate.
Yep. So it's a lot more complicated than that to get a person before a judge. So I'm just asking you, if you're out riding around the city and you see vandalism, almost 3 of 5 times that I go to, I try to go to the Earl Gilbert Park every day. I try to go at least a third of the city every day with the Public Works Director. And we now decided to keep track of all the vandalism in the sports complex across the street. It's been happening since before we've opened it. We've locked in the gates. That didn't do any good. Take people to jail. That hasn't done any good. We may have to put somebody over there under the cover of darkness and knock them off. I don't know what the best time would be to do that, but
Knock 'em off.
I think we need
You
to use our,
volunteers.
I think we need to use
To
our
catch
words a little bit better, verbiage.
well, maybe the council could help me take turns working that 12-hour shift, April. What do you think? You guys could all take a
I'll
day?
take
I
it
like
down.
doing it.
Live fire.
Live fire, good God.
They might work a little bit better for you if you were nicer to
What
them.
gates is
Yeah,
it, Mayor?
who, which ones?
It's the gates on the basketball court.
Okay, okay.
So they're busting
So
open play,
the-
is that what
they,
they're doing?
no, just for entertainment, the locking mechanism tips over and it has a padlock on it. So I took all the padlocks off and kicked the gates open and buckled the metal frame of the gate. So we'll repair them for a while, but after a while, we're gonna have to make a decision. I'm not sure, what we're gonna put, chain link fence across the top, barbed wire, spotlights. Cause we can't, we're prosecuting people left and right. So Hutto took 2 to jail this past week, 4 to jail the week before.
Are they citizens?
No, none of them were.
Are they human?
Yes, ma'am, they are humans, but none of the ones he's caught so far live here.
Where are they from, Alabama?
Is there,
Not Parker, how's that? So,
Oh, well,
is there a
that's
way to
nice.
make them pay restitution?
yeah.
Lock them inside there.
Well, that's funny you should say that because one was large and they were able to scale the fence. And once they got in, he couldn't get back out. And that was the reason we were able to
We
capture
should
those.
go and put them in in there and let's have a like a zoo.
Or I could put a, God.
Poke fun at it.
Is it against the law to post their pictures on the website?
I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't,
Is it against the law to post their pictures on the website?
I don't know what.
They got
Yeah,
arrested,
Probably.
so they put it
Today,
in
everything's against the law.
in that
So
publication.
here's an idea. Down at the beach, at the restaurants, or actually down at the beach, they have a live cam set up to where anytime, day or night, you can log in and see what's going on.
Do you need light for
I
that?
mean, we have some people that would be
Do-
happy
do
to.
you- Do you have light to see that?
We do.
I'm sure you probably do, but
Yeah.
I don't
I mean-
know that it would be.
Put
If you
motion
park on Lake Drive
detector.
and you come in from the backside of the park and destroy a $5,000 wooden pirate ship with paint and with your feet, there's not a lot more we can do about it in total darkness, you know?
Is that retaliatory?
Sir?
Are they retaliating for being arrested, you think?
I don't-
Yeah, no retaliation, no,
I'm
no.
talking, is that them?
Oh, no. These individuals were thoroughly chastened when they left, I promise you.
Maybe our 5-year plan should include lighting for the sports complex.
I'm sure it does, and even CCTV would only be okay under certain circumstances, and it is in the plan. Yes, ma'am.
Are they teenagers?
No, ma'am, they were none teenagers. They were all young, in their 20s.
In their twenties, cause I was gonna say, you're
Yep.
arrested young.
But unfortunately, in our culture today, when a man goes to jail for a crime, nothing happens. It's you're remanded and you're cut loose and you're on recognizance bond. It just is, you know. So we as taxpayers have to bear the burden of constant repair.
There's no way to get restitution?
So the last ones that went to jail, we've asked for restitution. It hasn't been brought on the docket yet. So in other words, they haven't seen the judge. Most of the time, the judge gives community service, and then that is your restitution. That doesn't mean we'll get them back in Parker. So I'd like to give them a tater rake. They could rake out the entire back of the sports complex. But most of the time, first offense or minor offenses. But the locks on the gates, it was just asinine why they would do that. No reason at all. No locks on the gates. No reason to break in. None. Just because they could. But I'm just letting you know that if you see anybody over there, pick up the phone, you know, and call it in, because that's the only way. We only have that. We are the police in this case, because we have all the eyes, and so we help them by calling.
Well, is anyone supposed to be parking anywhere besides the parking area?
So that's another problem we've
The
had. The
parking-
pickleball
I saw
people
today
refuse to
somebody
park in the
parking
parking
in
area. They insist on driving in the gravel and sliding around, and
In the grass.
Yeah.
I saw 'em parked in the left.
we've asked them. So we're going to move this parking fine. We're going to have white pick up the vehicles. If you can't follow the signs, then don't come to Parker. That's kind of how I feel about it. You know, because I can't keep paying for it every day, paying for something every day. And I'm scared when they open the pier, it's going to destroy the pier. I mean, we're working really hard to get this done. A lot of people are working really hard. Mr. Chappell goes there every day and gives us a report on what he's seen, you know, because he's having a bait and tackle put in, if you didn't know. Chappell's bait and tackle. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Stay.
Keeps the